Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to break down the NHL 21 gameplay trailer that was just released, obviously coming off the closed beta. Man, I am just super pumped to try out the new game, and today we are going to get a deep dive with Ben Ross, the gameplay developer from EA Sports, and see what we're working with here from a developer standpoint in terms of gameplay. I'm pretty excited for it, so let's jump into the trailer.
NHL 21 gameplay innovation is built on the creative mindset of hockey's boundary breakers, allowing you to revolutionize the way you attack, defend, and strategize. NHL 21's superstar-inspired innovation allows you to use the unique abilities of hockey's elite every time you step on the ice. We've added 4 new boundary-breaking moves to your arsenal. Kucherov's no-move deke, Sid's elusive bank off the back of the net, Matthew Tkachuk's between-the-legs one-timer, and yes, Svechnikov's lacrosse goal, or the Michigan, are all now featured in the game. These moves...
Alright, so let's talk about these 4 moves and them being added into NHL 21. We got to try them in the beta. Now, everyone spent all of their time trying to do the Michigan and weren't able to do it for the most part. I can assure you that you can do the Michigan. I have done it. And if I can do it, you can do it. So let's just discuss these 4 things. So because the one I want to focus on here is Crosby's bank pass, because the amount of things that you can create off of this are pretty impressive. So when I played the closed beta and I got to actually play some, a wide variety of players, this is the one I focused on the most, and the reason why is because in NHL 20, the meta changed to behind the net, and there's good reason for it. It was the easiest way to get one-timers through, and a good way to counter the fact that everyone was collapsing and protect netting, not using the skill zone, but everyone was just putting all of their AI and players in the slot. So obviously the overload and other things were kind of hindered with it because there's just no room for one-timers. But with behind the net, you create like a triangle for it. It ends up focusing on one-on-one battles, and then eventually someone gets open. So in this, with the behind-the-net bank pass, you're able to, whenever someone is, chasing you behind the net, even if they have a step, this move was clean. Like, I was able to do it almost every time I tried. And again, what it'll end up doing is because you keep your speed essentially with Crosby or whoever you're doing it with, you're going to have a lot of time and space now from behind the net. And because someone has made a commitment to now go chase you behind the net, you don't just have the one option to go all the way out and curl in front. Now you have an option to curl back, and someone that comes off the boards, if you play the behind the net strategy, someone will go to the boards, then rush to the middle. And again, I'm going to do a huge breakdown at launch for you guys to help you with that. But it really opened up that play a lot, and it's something I'm really excited for. The other ones, whether it be the between the legs one-timer, I wasn't able to. I'm a huge proponent of that move. I do it a lot in NHL 20, but it's such a low success rate. I didn't have anyone, or I couldn't score with it in the closed beta, and I didn't really try it too much when I was playing the build that we got as Game Changers. The Kucherov, same thing. That's super situational. You're just trying to meme your opponent at that point. So nothing really there. And then the Michigan, again, I told you guys that when everyone was starting to freak out when they saw the Michigan is in the game, if you do the Michigan, it is clip worthy. It is difficult. It is hard. It is very, very, very situational. And but this one specifically, easy to do and creates a ton of offense off of it. And again, when the game comes out, I'm going to have extensive breakdowns on how to open up, how to create offense for it, and not just with myself, with pros, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss those videos.
Matthew Tkachuk's between-the-legs one-timer, and yes, Svechnikov's lacrosse goal, or the Michigan, are all now featured in the game. These moves create special in-game moments that are only created with the right combination of skill and opportunity. In NHL 20, most one-on-one moves could not be pulled off without sacrificing speed. In NHL 21, to replicate the boundary-breaking attributes of Ovechkin and McDavid, we added a multitude of slips, banks, and chips so you can retain speed and acceleration. This is especially useful when your opponent is playing the trap or aggressive on the blue line.
So let's talk about this, because these are what I'm most excited about. The Michigan's cool. The Kucherov goal is awesome. These are the improvements in NHL that I get most excited about, and it is because of how it will actually change the gameplay. It's not a skating thing. It's essentially just tuning the AI to make it and adding in motions and deeks that allow you to keep your speed, which is something that has really lacked. It has seemed that every time that EA has put in deeks or anything like that, that they've really reduced the motion. So you can pull them off and it'll look clean, but you lose your speed doing it, and it's very easy for the defenseman to get back or whoever's defending you to get back, and that's what's kind of really hurt gameplay over the last few seasons, as opposed to what it was like kind of the arcade style of like NHL 13, like the early on ones where you had like insane amount of control in shootouts and whatnot. This is what I'm most excited for, so we are going to break this down real quick. So the board slip is something that's kind of already in the game, in my opinion, just because it's something that I've done and anyone can do. Basically, if you hold the backhand deke and just skate by, you'll get bumped along the boards, but usually you keep the puck. In NHL 21, you don't have to worry about that anymore, because if you keep speed...
We added a multitude of slips.
And again, in each of these clips, the player the player that he's getting burnt by is skating left and right and not up and down, and watch the actual distance that the players will get after pulling these deeks off. So like that one specifically along the boards is going to be super useful for entering the zone whenever it's a one-on-one. So say you straight line down the boards. For anyone that straight lines down the boards is a great move for your arsenal, because again, if it's one-on-one, you do the slip deke, and more often than not, you're probably going to get by if you time it right. This one here, again, super exciting, because Ovechkin keeps his skates moving and his speed, and because Matthews is going left to right, look at the distance that he's now created on that. Same thing with here. Watch, both of these defensemen are skating left and right, essentially. You've got, Panarin trying to split the D like he's Kenny Wu, and again, a bad turnaround there, a bad L2, essentially, by the defenseman, and he's toast. Like, those are great improvements to the game as long as they, work as intended. Obviously, we got to take things with a grain of salt. It's the trailer, but this is I'm really excited about in terms of just how creative and how much more difficult defense looks in NHL 21.
When your opponent is playing the trap or aggressive on the blue line.
Like Chara specifically, so denying zone entry is going to be so important in NHL 21 because playing defense is going to be very difficult. And denying zone entry is one of the most important. You've got Chara, who's just gigantic and impossible to get around, skating towards the player, trying to, stop him at the blue line, which is the correct play. But because he misses,
or aggressive on the blue line,
watch how much distance he creates. Like he has to beeline right for the net, and he's Marner's still got space. So again, it's just something I'm super excited for. Is those ones I said it in the original trailer breakdown that everyone was so focused on the Michigan and things like that. I'm just like, man, dude, the chip deeks are gonna be awesome. So just good to see more of it. Now this is really cool. Kind of reminds me of like the 2K shot creator. So this I'm pretty excited for the ESHL players.
Given you the ability to fine-tune your skating aesthetics down to the inch. So whether you want to look like McDavid, Ovechkin, or match your own personal style, it's all in your control. Hockey is a game where teams use well-spaced rushes and crisp passes to retain speed up and down the ice. With NHL 21's Fluid Hockey IQ, your team will now move fluidly as a unit on both offense and defense, depending on which strategy you use.
That is super exciting to see. I love the strategy of hockey. That's really what the foundation of my channel is built on. And like stuff like this is super exciting. Just watch, Gudis goes and tries to force the player who's going left and right.
Depending on which strategy you use. In NHL 20,
that's nice.
Frustrated when they couldn't trust their AI teammates and wanted their AI opponents to be more challenging through more organic and realistic decision making. In NHL 21, the goal has been to make the AI more challenging while also making their decision-making and responsiveness more realistic. On breakouts, offensive teammates move fluidly as a unit to support the puck more effectively, and they will need to, because on the defensive side of the puck, teams will work more collectively during aggressive forechecks. Offensive players will try to retain their momentum through the neutral zone, while defensive strategies have been improved to neutralize speed, forcing the offense to be more creative and play less north-south. In the offensive zone, teammates work more effectively to find open space, to challenge a much more improved defense that can be trusted to defend passing options and identify moments to play aggressively to contain the puck. And we can't talk about trusting your team.
So I just want to touch on this real quick because anytime they talk about AI improvements, you got to take it with a grain of salt because you haven't played it a lot. And from what I saw in the closed beta, it doesn't look like there's going to be any new strategies like behind the net overload, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't look like there's anything new. However, if what has been shown is actually going to be implemented in the game, I'm pretty excited because, again, it's going to create a lot more offense for you if you know what you're doing, as opposed to just, you kind of get randomness from your AI. So, it's good to see, but I'm skeptical on this part of it. But they're about to talk about goalies, which I'm really, really excited about.
You can't talk about trusting your teammates without covering the last line of defense, the goalies. In NHL 21, goalie locomotion is now separated into both upper and lower body, working seamlessly together to give the goalie incredible control and responsiveness in all situations when trying to move and track the puck at the same time. In NHL 20, if you committed one way, it was difficult to react in time to counter that momentum and make a save in the other direction. In NHL 21, our new tech allows for never say die moments where if you've committed one way and you react quickly enough, you can still reach back against your goalie's momentum and make that dramatic last-minute save that every goalie dreams about. But don't test your luck. Even with all this added responsiveness and control, goalies will always be more effective when using sound technique and positioning to block off angles to play the percentages for that specific scenario. Building on the core of RPM technology.
So, this is going to play a lot more to the user goaltenders, like for sixes and whatnot, but from what I've seen, the goalie animations have improved quite a bit. This one isn't just fluff. The against the grain stuff that Ben talks about here does look to be, added into the game, which is really exciting for goaltenders, people that main goaltenders, because now you're going to have a lot more control. As opposed to just the AI goaltenders, if you're talking like Hut and whatnot specifically. I can't talk about it too much. I am very excited to see the changes for goaltenders in NHL 21. That's all I can say.
Goalies will always be more effective when using sound technique and positioning to block off angles to play the percentages for that specific scenario. Building on the core of RPM technology, we've been able to continually tweak responsiveness and aesthetics in all facets of the game while setting us up with a great foundation for the future. With NHL 21, our gameplay innovation is meant to recognize those who have revolutionized the game, bringing you the best hockey experience on this console generation.
So guys, that was the gameplay trailer. Obviously, we got to try out a lot of this stuff in the closed technical test, but I am excited for certain aspects of it. Like I said, the behind the net bank pass, all of the chip deeks and things that you can do on the rush, gaining zone entry by performing these moves and not having a player who doesn't know what he's doing trying to defend you at the line is just going to get absolutely eaten alive in 21, and I think that is something that the game has been missing quite a bit. They're starting to remove the things from players that don't know how to play hockey, and they're really going to get hurt by bad plays, especially at the blue line, and that's going to create a lot of 2-on-1s, breakaways, and whatnot from the stuff that they've added because these deeks do keep their momentum in skating. So we'll see how it plays out, guys. I'm pretty excited. Again, the Michigan, all that kind of stuff, fluff to me, but like I said, the bank pass, things like that I've been able to try out and use, very, very useful. So let me know what you think in the comments section down below, guys. We are getting closer to NHL 21. Please subscribe to the channel because I'm going to bring you some insane stuff, from tips to Hut review cards. I will be doing a pack opening of just epic proportions to start, and I'm going to be trying out all of these new cards and whatnot for you guys, so that if you play Hockey Ultimate Team just like you did all this last year, for anyone that subscribed to me and followed along my channel, I'll be telling you guys exactly what are the good cards to purchase, what ones to avoid, all of that kind of stuff. And I've got some crazy tip videos that I've got lined up for you, with not just myself going over strategies to help you improve your game, but with pro players and breaking down how they play the game and their tips and whatnot as well. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. It's an exciting time. We are so close to NHL 21. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.